Thank you very much indeed. I must say, to begin with, it's a great pleasure to be interviewed by Safety 4C. I am Joe Hughes. I am the Chairman and Chief Executive of the managers of the American Protection and Indemnity Club, P&I Club. We are third-party liability underwriters. We operate mutually. We're part of the international group of P&I clubs, the largest consortium of insurers of this kind in the world, who collectively insure about 90 to 95% of all world shipping. And that's a very proud relationship we have actually with our fellow clubs in the group, and we insure ship owners against their third-party liabilities incurred in the context of operating ships. They include damage to cargo, the injury, illness, death of seafarers, passengers, and so on, dock damage, certain parts of collision risks, oil pollution, wreck removal, and so on. It's a fairly large catalogue of risk. We, as I say, are part of the international group, and we participate, therefore, in the direction which the group takes on a lot of the new initiatives that affect global shipping. We're very much participative in that. We don't have anything just at the moment, I don't think, that's very specifically new in what we're planning to do over the years ahead. One thing I can say is that we maintain a broad range of different kinds of products. In addition to the core P&I, we have a fixed premium facility called Eagle Ocean Marine. We made a significant investment in a hull underwriting operation in Cyprus a couple of years ago called American Hellenic Hull. And in addition to that, obviously, we provide a whole range of services, including loss prevention, very importantly, to our members and other associates of the club. I think that the level of regulation, obviously, as we've seen with Sulphur Cap 2020, is likely to continue to increase over the years ahead, particularly in relation to environmental risks and concerns. That obviously will create challenges for the industry at large, and the P&I clubs will necessarily have to respond to those new risks. I think the other thing is the advent of autonomous shipping. That is beginning in a very small way at present. I think that will be a much larger thing as we go forward, perhaps beginning in coastal and local trades, but developing ultimately into a much larger part of the operating fleet worldwide over the decades, I suspect, rather than the very short term. But that's a new frontier that will challenge marine underwriters of all kinds going forward. And as I said right at the outset, environmental concerns will continue to loom large in the vision forward of the clubs and other insurers, with, of course, greenhouse gases being the next stage in that particular context. And that will have, obviously, a very significant bearing on ship design, the way that ships are propelled, and many other things that might bear on marine insurance claims over the years ahead. I think it's been immensely successful. I started, and you won't believe this, of course, I started in this business almost exactly 42 years ago. Now, in those days, P&I clubs' ideas of loss prevention were largely confined to having entry condition surveys of ships to see essentially whether the fabric of a ship was up to scratch before insurance was offered. And that was a relatively simple dimension to looking at issues of safety and loss prevention, risk management, and so on. Things have undergone the most massive sea change over the intervening period, and that has been driven, I think, by concerns within the industry at large to ensure that best practice is implemented in terms of making ship operations safer. That is also part of the regulatory dimension too over recent years. I mean, the ISM code, for example, came out 20 years ago, I think, actually, almost exactly 20 years ago, and that was a major step forward in terms of making sure that proper procedures in the interests of safety are undertaken on board ships. But I think that the shipping industry itself, and certainly marine insurers, have never been more conscious of the need to have these best practice procedures in place for safety at sea, not just in a pollution dimension, but in terms of human welfare in the largest sense. And I think that the industry has made enormous strides, certainly over the period that I've been privileged to be involved in it since the late 1970s. Thank you.